91.3 FM.
This is Class 91.3.
Class 91.3 FM. Class 91.3 FM.
This is Class 91.3.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to 12 Live here on Class 91.3 FM in Accra and affiliates across the country. If you're listening in the Voto region, this is OFM 92.5, Dagban FM 102.5. It's also picking the bulletin live in Tamale. We are live on Radio 192.1 in the Upper West region. We are live on Radio Power 96 in Spain, and around the world you can join us on classfmonline.com. And coming up this afternoon, transport operators suspend planned fare increases following government's diesel price reduction.
Yes, it's through our decision of coming up with the increment, after the president's intervention of reducing the diesel by 2 cedis.
Acting Minister for Defense urges Ghanaians to uphold late Minister Mani Buama's legacy.
His ideals are alive. It will promote dialogue. It will inspire leadership. It will also encourage future generations to serve Ghana with integrity and patriotism. Our speakers.
President Mahama rejects claims that Africa's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade diminishes the crime of slavery or weakens the cases for reparation.
Participated in it, and because they were Africans, then it means that the slave trade didn't happen. No, we reject that.
Also coming up in this bulletin, the Parent Teachers Association opens talks on government's decision to retain foreign languages as optional subjects in basic schools. These plus many other stories, including African news, coming your way shortly.
Always a pleasure having you for company on 12 Live on Class 91.3 FM. My name is Charles Akrofi, and of course I'm here with
Elizabeth Aidoo.
We're starting off with some transport matters because the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has suspended its planned transport fare increase following the government's intervention to reduce diesel prices by 2 Ghana cedis per litre for 1 month. The union says although drivers continue to face high expenses, increasing fares immediately could worsen the burden on passengers and create further challenges. Speaking to Class News, Deputy Communications Officer for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union said the decision was taken to allow transport operators assess the impact of the fuel price reduction on the operations. Samuel Ajman said that after the 1 month fuel price relief period, the union will review the situation based on prevailing fuel price before deciding on any possible fare adjustment.
Our decision of coming up with the increment, after the president's intervention of reducing the diesel by 2 cedis, and then according to the president, they are going to make sure that for 1 month, these 2 cedis will be reduced from the petroleum, that is the diesel, that is for 1 liter. And it means that if a driver buys, 1 gallon of diesel, he is saving 9 Ghana cedis. Actually, we find out that yes, where the fuel price, has gotten to, still the drivers are still suffering. And by the close of the day, their expenditures goes very, very high. But then we also thought it wise that increasing the transport fare right now will also, push everything to just go up, and it will go and come back and hit us. So we decided that, as the president is saying, we'll hold on for the meantime to see what will happen, within this 1 month that the president says is giving this 2 cedis, this 2 cedis reduction on the diesel price. So, we have decided to hold on for now to see what will happen going forward. Yes, that is true. After the 2 cedis intervention, we decided that yes, it has not reflected, so we'll monitor to see if really today to reflect. And that because of the pressure coming from our members, we also decided that the two cities, we'll think about it, have a meeting with our members before taking a decision. So that was when, the transport minister also engaged the leadership. And finally, there is an agreement that we should hold on for now to see that going forward what will happen. It will depend on where the fuel price will go to. All right. If it happens that, like as I'm speaking to you, it went to around 19 cities to 20 cities a liter. Now it has come down to around 17 cities. Now Star Oil is selling around 16 cities. So if it happens that after the 1 month, if it goes up again, that is when we also, have a meeting and think of what to do.
So that's Samuel Amwa. He's the Deputy Public Relations Officer for GPRTU. Meanwhile, tax analyst Francis Timoriboy is cautioning the government to set clear limits for fuel price interventions, warning that repeated subsidies could put pressure on public finances and potentially lead to the introduction of new taxes. He says a sustainable framework is needed to guide future interventions while balancing consumer relief with fiscal discipline. Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to a tax analyst, Mr. Geoffrey Okansi. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your time with us on 12 Live. So for starters, the government's reduction of diesel prices has prompted transport operators to suspend their planned fare increases. From an economic and fiscal standpoint, how sustainable is this kind of fuel price intervention, and what are the potential long-term implications for the economy?
Well, thank you and good afternoon to your listeners. Thanks for having me. I think we cannot run away from the fact that it's actually a bottleneck that the president and his cabinet are trying to relieve us as citizens from, as consumers. I can tell you this, that it will come at a cost, yes, but it takes a good economic foundation and a firm, adjusted ground for you to be able to take such bold decisions. There's been some accumulations that were doing good things for us, the energy levy, the one Ghana cedi that was actually added on. So you could see that the Minister of Finance came out to tell us what they've been using that money for, to avoid the price build-up and then also to clear some of the debts that were existing. So indeed, we made some preparations to manage the system through CSO and other stakeholders, the OMCs and government discussions. And so you realize that the stakeholder public, the citizenry and the consumers understand that government collected these monies for something, but as we speak right now, the hikes that were expected to go on has been forcing government to take a decision to hold, gains that they were making and make sure that they use some of it to rectify some of the heavy burden that will come on the consumer. It was done purposely for two areas, major areas. I mean, looking at the transportation that you just ended the discussion with the gentleman on that transport area where the commercial transport drivers wanted to actually add on and then change their prices. Most of the majority of these vehicles use the diesel product. So that is what informed the decision to actually, provide some cushioning and ensure that the pricing over there come a little bit closer to the petrol one, and then ensure that the drivers can resign their decision of increasing the fare. Again, it is a tough time, yes, again, for industry. Most of the factory running machines depend on diesel. So it also had that factory and industrial look, so that nobody would say that because of the cost, they will lay off workers or suspend activities of some of their production. So this is the two areas that government looked at and said, look, we'll bite the bullet and make sure that we actually suspend the inroads and gains that we are making and then stabilize the situation with this investment. So it is not a cost that is negative. It is an investment in transportation fares and then an investment also in production to ensure that you sustain production and sustain industrial growth and productivity, while you are also checking not only from transportation fares, but then those who import goods from the other countrysides,
right?
Those who are bringing goods and services from the regional body areas to the capital, they'll start increasing food and everything else by the cost of the transportation fare going up. So it is a good investment, but like I've said, yes, it will have an impact.
Talking about impacts, another tax analyst, Francis Timori-Boy, is actually cautioning that government should set clear limits for fuel price interventions. You have lauded government in this regard, but Timori-Boy is saying that, look, it could lead to the repeated subsidies that we are, having from government could lead to pressure on public finances and potentially lead to the introduction of new taxes. How do you react to this?
I respectfully call on my brother, my fellow analyst. I respect his view. This about engaging differences. I humbly differ a bit from his arguments, where I'm looking at interventions that are strategic. So before everything else, there was an imposition of the one Ghana cedi to come and do something. What we seek to do, we sought to do something we call the cost build-up through the subsidy action. So that one Ghana cedi came to do that one. So for the particular period running from 2025, there was no build-up. It was able to manage the cost. And then even from what the finance minister presented, there was an inroad of going back to settle some of the debt that was leaving. So at the end of the day, the existing debt has been slightly slashed. You've done some inroads with avoiding a build-up, of course. So his advice is clear. I agree with him. But then it is also important to make sure that you also look at the other side of it. What do you lose if you give this? You lose about 30 eggs, and then you gain 70 eggs. That's what you are looking at. So at the end of the day, you don't get factories telling you that they are halting production or they are cutting size or making sure that they stop production and wait for the better season when the fuel or the diesel comes down. So that's why you are injecting in there. So it's an investment that you are putting in there to increase and sustain your tax base. Again, like I've told you, it will affect food and other things if you don't manage it well, because then the moment those who are cutting the goods and going in and out to provide services, I have seen that there's an increase in in the transportation fare. They begin to also do
it trickles down
prices to the consumables on the market.
Mr. Okanse, let me thank you for your time this afternoon.
And thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity.
Right. It's a tax analyst, Geoffrey Okanse there. This is 12 Live on Class 91.3 FM, turning attention to some other developments now.
The acting Minister for Defense, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen, who is also the Minister for Finance, is calling on Ghanaians to uphold the legacy of the late Dr. Edward Kofi Omanebwama through integrity, patriotism, and dedicated service to the nation. Speaking at the maiden annual public lecture held in honor of the late former Defense Minister, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen said the event will keep Omanebwama's ideals alive, promote dialogues, inspire leadership, and encourage future generations to serve Ghana with integrity and patriotism. On behalf of the Ministry of Defense, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen expressed the hope for the legacy of the late Dr. Edward Omanebwama will continue to inspire all Ghanaians. He also prayed for God's blessing on the Ghana Armed Forces and the nation.
His ideals alive. It will promote dialogue. It will inspire leadership. It will also encourage future generations to serve Ghana with integrity and patriotism. Our speakers, the planning committee, the Pope Jones Old Boys Association, and our sponsors, and everyone who made this event possible. To all our distinguished guests, thank you for being here today. Your presence honors the memory of our exceptional brother and a son of Ghana. On behalf of the Ministry of Defense, I warmly welcome you all and wish you fruitful and a memorable lecture. May the legacy of our dear brother, the late Dr. Edward Kofi Omanebwama, continue to inspire us all. May God bless the Ghana Armed Forces. May God bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you.
Minister for Defense and Minister for Finance, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen. The event is still ongoing. We'll bring you more on that subsequently.
Now, President John Mahama has rejected the argument that the involvement of some Africans in the transatlantic slave trade diminishes the crime of slavery or weakens the case for reparations. Speaking at a high-level dialogue on reparations at the University of West Indies in Jamaica as part of his state visit to Jamaica, President Mahama said the participation of some Africans as intermediaries did not absolve those who designed, financed, and established the transatlantic slave trade. He drew a parallel with the Holocaust, arguing that the actions of a few individuals within a persecuted community do not invalidate the historical reality or crimes committed against that community.
The Holocaust occurred, and I believe that there was a Holocaust and 6 million Jews were killed. Some of the most brutal prison guards were Jews. Some of those who went into the communities and showed where Jews were hiding and delivered them to the Nazis to be exterminated were Jews. But it doesn't mean the Holocaust didn't happen and that the Holocaust wasn't a crime against humanity. Yeah. And so even the argument that Africans were involved in enslaving Africans does not stop it from being the gravest crime against humanity. Right. And the point is, you must look at all the legal underpinnings. You must look at everything that was established to support the slave trade in terms of the insurance of the cargo and all that kind of thing, the auctions and all that. It was a very systematic trade. And so you cannot wish it away just by saying that some agents, whom you use as agents to bring you slaves as commodities, participated in it, and because they were Africans, then it means that the slave trade didn't happen. No, we reject that.
Now, the president also said global awareness of the transatlantic slave trade is growing following the United Nations resolution recognizing it as the gravest crime against humanity, arguing that a better understanding of the past is critical to shaping Africa's future.
We are now independent. We should be able to tell our children the truth. When I was growing up in primary school, the abolitionists were put as the most important thing that happened in the slave trade. We were taught about the slave trade. The gravity of what happened in the slave trade was never really spelled out. It was the bravery of the abolitionists and how they were the knights in shining armor who came and stopped it and saved Africans. And so all these people who were involved in the abolition movement were lionized in our history books. Now we can begin to tell our children the truth. And I think that since the resolution was passed on the General Assembly, it's piqued interest in trying to understand and know what exactly happened. And I believe that awareness is being created. People are aware of what happened. And it helps for you to know where we have come from, because that informs where we are going.
And that's President John Dramani Mahama.
Let's just stay a while on the president, because he says he will push for the inclusion of the Caribbean country in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area when he assumes the chairmanship of the African Union. Also speaking during his visit to Jamaica, the president said expanding the trade bloc to include Caribbean nations would strengthen economic ties between Africa and Caribbean and also create new opportunities for businesses across both regions. He noted that increasing trade volumes would require deliberate efforts, including improving infrastructure, logistics, market access, and payment system to support easier transaction. According to him, he said closer Africa-Caribbean cooperation would advance South partnership and also promote shared economic growth.
The last AU conference, the Caribbean was accepted and duly acknowledged as the 7th region of Africa. And so it allows the Caribbean to CARICOM to sit in AU meetings and to hold discussions affecting Africa and the Caribbean in AU meetings. And so I think that has been a major step forward. When I was speaking with Mr. Prime Minister, I said that one of the things that I would champion when I become AU chair next year, Ghana is assuming the chair of the African Union next year, is to expand the remit of the African Continental Free Trade Area to include the Caribbean. We've set up the African Continental Free Trade Area that allows us to export goods duty-free and tariff-free into each other's markets. That's a 1.4 billion population market, and that also is a 1.3 trillion GDP economy. And so we can plug the Caribbean in so that we can exchange goods between Africa and the Caribbean duty-free, tariff-free. And so that's one of the proposals that I'll take up.
That's President John Dramani Mahama.
Let's do some educational stories now. And the debate over the place of foreign languages in Ghana's basic school curriculum is far from over as the Parents Teachers Association opens talks with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders on government's decision to keep Chinese, Arabic and French as optional subjects. The discussion follows clarification by Education Minister Haruna Idrisu that the 3 foreign languages will remain elective under the revised curriculum. He explained that English and Ghanaian languages will continue as the principal languages of instruction, while Chinese, Arabic, and French will only be offered where pupils express interest and qualified teachers are available. Speaking to Class News, Public Relations Officer of the Parents Teachers Association, Irene Sam, said the engagement is aimed at building consensus on the best way to implement the curriculum changes and ensure they advance the interests of learners across the country.
Seen that communicate that has been communicated, but we are yet to meet as an association to really deliberate about the whole thing. But you see, the whole thing is that we should not be in a haste to keep on introducing subjects to our children. Already, we feel that they are even overburdened, or that they are studying right now. I mean, we have not even done a science and data to see how performance is being achieved over the years. So we only plead that whatever we want to do, let us do it carefully and let it systematically. So as we are speaking now, we have seen that communicate, but we are yet to meet our association, celebrate on it, to confer with our members and see how far that will go. But we plead that matters of this sort shouldn't just be a talk. It should be backed by science and data. What is informing them to bring these languages on board? The existing one, how has it been achieved? How has learning outcomes be achieved over the years? We have to look at all these things before we keep on introducing new things. Making it so stressful for our. This is where the problem is. Before anything of this was introduced, there is no engagement being done with that. Nobody consults, nobody engages us for us to bring our input thereof. We just hear it in the media that this is what is going to be done. No engagement whatsoever. So as we speak now, there have been no engagement so far. We also just heard it. So we are also preparing to see how we can also engage them on some of these issues and then looking at the whole system in general.
And Irene Sam is the Public Relations Officer for the National Parents and Teachers Association. This is 12 Live on Class 91.3 FM.
The Greater Accra Regional Police Command has approved the new Patriotic Party's planned demonstration on Thursday, August 6, 2026, over the acquittal of the former Maslock Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamaklo Atieno by the Court of Appeal. The protest follows the Court of Appeal's decision to acquit and discharge Sedina Tamaklo Atieno over turning her conviction and 10 years prison sentence imposed by the High Court. Speaking to the media after obtaining the police approval, the party's national organizer Henry Nanabwachi, known as Nanabi, said the demonstration will begin at the Supreme Court before proceeding to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Jubilee House, and then Parliament. According to him, the protest is intended to draw attention to what the NPP described as selective justice, interference with the judiciary, and the suppression of free speech and erosion of democratic governance. Nanabi urged party supporters and members of the public to participate peacefully in the demonstration, which the party says it's aimed at defending the country's democratic principles.
Some demands that democracy is the way to go. So President Mahama and the NDC cannot suppress our democracy. So Thursday, 6th of August, in the morning, 5 a.m., we gather in front of the Supreme Court. We will present the first petition at the Supreme Court, and then we will move straight in front of the streets, the Yoko Street, the street in front of Yoko. Then we will just move straight to Jubilee House to present the other petition. There will be a last petition that will be sent to Parliament House, but we will delegate the leadership in Parliament and some leaders of our party to present that petition. But we are going to hold this mammoth demonstration. Democracy under attack. Democracy under attack. And it is so amazing how President Mahama just...
That's the new Patriotic National Organizer, Harry Nanabwachi, known as Nanabi. Now, the Health Ministry's 7-member committee probing the unrest at the Nursing Training College Techiman Krobo has been given until August 11, 2026 to present its reports. The committee, chaired by the Deputy Registrar of the Health Facility Regulatory Authority and former Dean of the School of Nursing at the University for Development Studies, has been tasked to establish the facts surrounding the disturbances at the school. It is expected to investigate the issues that led to the unrest, review whether existing policies, codes of conduct, and administrative procedures were complied with, and make recommendations to the Minister for Health, Kobna Mita Akando, for appropriate actions. The committee is made up of representatives from the Health Facility Regulatory Authority, the Bono East Regional Coordinating Council, the Traditional Authority, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and also the Conference of Heads of Health Training Institutions, the Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association, and also the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health says the committee's report will guide decisions on the appropriate steps to address the concerns arising from the incident.
12 Live here on Class 91.3 FM. Now, the head of the local government service, Professor Lord Mensah, has challenged regional coordinating directors to harness emerging technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, to improve governance and public service delivery while maintaining professionalism and political neutrality in the discharge of their duties. Speaking at an engagement with regional coordinating directors, Professor Mensah said the growing role of digital technology presents an opportunity to transform local governance by making public administration more efficient, transparent and responsive to citizens' needs. He noted that artificial intelligence and other digital tools can strengthen development agenda, financial management, procurement processes, performance monitoring and citizen engagement, ultimately improving service delivery across the country.
You are called to inspire confidence, mobilize resources, and ensure that policies translate into tangible outcomes for citizens. In a time of rapid technological change, political complexity, and evolving citizens' expectations, leadership must be adaptive, ethical, and results-oriented. As regional coordinating directors, you must embody the values of professionalism, neutrality, and accountability. You must embrace innovation, leveraging digital tools and artificial intelligence to enhance efficiency, transparency, and service delivery. By the end of this program, you will have gained clarity on your roles within the evolving governance landscape and architecture. You have strengthened your decisions. You would have strengthened your decision-making capacity, acquired practical tools for managing political administrative dynamics, and build resilience to address emerging security.
Now, Professor Lord Mensah also reminded the regional coordinating directors that while they are expected to support the implementation of government policies, they must do so without compromising the neutrality of the public service. According to him, professionalism, impartiality, and political neutrality remain the foundation of an effective civil service and are essential for sustaining public confidence in Ghana's decentralized governance system. He urged the directors to remain guided by the principles of fairness, integrity, and accountability as they coordinate development activities and provide administrative leadership within their respective regions.
You also have the opportunity to reflect on the delicate balance between political influence and administrative neutrality in the decentralized governance. While the RCDs must faithfully support the implementation of the policies of the elected government, they must equally uphold the enduring values of professionalism, impartiality, political neutrality, fairness, and continuity in public administration.
So that was the head of the local government service, Professor Lord Kweku Mensah.
As cyber threats continue to rise across the country, the government says it is rolling out measures to strengthen Ghana's cyber security and protect the digital space. The move is aimed at safeguarding Ghana's digital transformation agenda as the country continues to face increasing risk, including mobile money fraud, identity theft, online impersonation, misinformation, cyber-enabled crime, and challenges related to child online safety. The Deputy Minister of Communications, Mohammed Adam Suparu, made the remarks at the launch of the National Community Media Cyber Capability Building Project, an initiative designed to equip community journalists with the skills to combat cyber crime and also promote digital safety across the country.
Cybersecurity is an economic imperative, a governance imperative, a national security imperative, and increasingly it is a development imperative. Cybersecurity has become the foundation upon which digital transformation must be built. Without it, innovation cannot flourish.
That's the Deputy Minister of Communications, Mohammed Adams Square.
Let's do some news beyond our borders before we take leave of you this afternoon. And funerals have been held for some of the 14 people killed in a landslide that hit a mountain monastery hosting an overnight prayer session in Ethiopia's northern Amhara region. Rescue efforts, 4 others feared trapped in the debris after a hillside above the Orthodox Church monastery collapsed in the early hours on Monday morning, have now been halted. The monastery includes a prayer chamber caved into the mountainside where the worshippers had gathered for the special prayer service. And that's how we wrap up today's edition. But before we take a leave of you, a reputable company is looking to recruit a security guard. Requirement: minimum of a senior high school certificate or equivalent. Previous experience in a similar role is an added advantage. Honest, discipline, alert, and physically fit is also one of the qualities sought by this company, and good communications and interpersonal skills. Applicants must reside around Laboni Cantonment, Osu, or nearby communities. If you want to apply, you should send your CV via WhatsApp and call 0534 467 842. That's 0534 467 842. Only shortlisted applicants will be contacted.
Now, are you ready to review your fortune? Review Scratch for Winners here to change your life for good. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash and win up to 1 million Ghana cedis or more in cash prizes instantly. It's easy, it's exciting, and is regulated by the National Lottery Authority. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash to play on all network. Choose your station to play. Select take amount from 5 cedis to 2,000 Ghana cedis. Choose your lucky card out of the 5 options. Confirm gameplay and enter your Momo pins. Receive your game results and winnings instantly. It's easy, fun, and exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win up to 1 million Ghana cedis up for grabs. Review Scratch for Win. Scratch keke. Nadisika Seibam. Now that's our wrap up 12 live radio on Class 91.3 FM. For more news and updates, do log on to classfmonline.com. The team will be back on 5:05, led by Kwame Ochi Jr. Do stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. I am Elizabeth Aidoo.
And I'm Charles Akrofi. Make sure you tune in, because up next it's the afternoon business review with Nana Ajiman Prempe. Have a good afternoon.